chilling, otherworldly sound ripples through the air as an entity far more distant and terrifying than any encountered before descends upon the world. Conscious of the deadly danger, all efforts are made to avoid drawing the true immortal's attention. Yet the mere presence of this being is enough to drive even Jin Byukho, a great master, to agony as his body becomes pure lightning, dissolving into the air while he desperately warns not to heed the mysterious, destructive words only lightning path users can perceive. As the heavenly lightning banner ascends and is struck by golden lightning, a new being manifests, a barefoot figure with flowing white hair and attire woven from lightning, who prays to the sky and pleads for release from 120,000 years of resentment. This prayer triggers a catastrophic transformation across Heavenly Human Island as every cultivator and mortal kneels, prays, and becomes lightning, their essence returning to the greater being above. At the entity's command, the full might of the heavenly tribulation is unleashed, obliterating the Grand Alliance headquarters in a blinding storm. Elsewhere, Jeon Myung-hoon awakens in his chamber, confused, beside Jin So-hee. She recounts how he was manipulated to betray the sect, but he reassures her of his loyalty, promising never to abandon her or the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. Their tender moment is shattered as a colossal heavenly tribulation descends on their sect, erasing sound and color and melting everything, including So-hee, into nothingness. Despite Jeon Myung-hoon's unparalleled ability to absorb lightning, he cannot save her from the overwhelming force. In his arms, So-hee dies, leaving only her hand behind. Broken by grief and tormented by the whispers of the heavenly tribulation, Jeon Myung-hoon absorbs its power and is confronted by the gaze and malice of the true immortal. Driven to the brink of madness, he realizes the futility of resisting such a being, yet is consumed by the need for vengeance. Rising from the ashes, his cultivation surging to new heights, he becomes the lightning harbinger, swearing to annihilate any who stand in his way, his heart set ablaze with fury and loss. Drifting in a surreal void, after facing the devastating heavenly tribulation, consciousness blurs as a mysterious white-haired entity bestows a blessing for having aided its release from the descendants of the golden deity. Awakening amid the ashes of heavenly human island, the world has been raised by judgment, and the protagonist is haunted by visions and a whisper urging, "Return, a remnant of contact with the true immortal's true body." This encounter leaves a terrifying mark. The body slowly transforms into lightning, a process that will end all existence within a year at most, not from malice but as a side effect of witnessing a true immortal's essence. Despair turns to a grim resolve. Not all goals have been met, but one promise remains, to witness the vast cold oath between Seo Huel and Yu Ryan. Deciding to use the final days to fulfill this vow, the protagonist heads to the Earth Tribe territory. Meanwhile, in the Earth Tribe True Dragon Alliance, Ma-1, the frail tower master of a new pavilion, auditions two applicants, Yu Hua, whose zither skills move him, and Yu Beck, whose dance is so majestic it evokes a dragon's presence. Both are hired, but Yubek's high wage demands clash with Ma-1's poverty, leading to reluctant compromise. In their quarters, Yu Hua tries to be friendly, but Yu Baek, now physically diminished and resentful after her fall, remains cold, uncertain about her feelings toward Seo Huel, torn between hatred and lingering affection. Yu Hua suggests seeing Seo Huel from afar, but Gyubek refuses, doubting she could control herself. The two chat about their reasons for staying near the serving command, Arc, with Gyubek mentioning her intent to recover cultivation resources meant for a pet demon beast Seo Yunhyun once raised, a centipede known as Hong Fan, hinting at links to the past and unresolved threads that remain in this cycle. Gyubek soars above the mountains of the True Dragon Alliance, musing on her inability to reach the realm of entering heavens, despite the vast experience and knowledge she retains from her past life as Gyu Ryon. The Heart Tribe's path remains alien to her, its enlightenment eluding her grasp. Even as she recalls how the heaven and earth tribe's realms once made sense, she reflects on the strange absence of true immortals among the Heart Tribe and suspects their existence is an anomaly, forcibly inserted into the world's flow. She ultimately puts aside her thoughts and heads to a secluded cave by a waterfall, hoping to retrieve resources from Seo Yun-hyun's old storage for his pet demon beast. Inside the cave, Gyubek breaks through Seo In-hyun's barrier and finds only modest resources, nothing compared to what she once possessed as a Dragon King candidate, but enough to help her recover to the chi building stage. As she begins to partake of the spiritual fruits, she is interrupted by a massive centipede demon beast, Hong Fan. Their initial confrontation is diffused when Hong Fan politely demands to know her identity, and upon learning she is an acquaintance of his master, Seo Unyun, he readily welcomes her to share the resources. Gubaik is astonished that Hong Fan, whom she last saw as a mere larva, has already reached the core formation stage, and that he managed this by using the dangerous magic artifact Immortal Demon Bamboo, a tool banned for its toxicity. Hong Fan seems unaffected by its dangers and casually smokes the artifact, explaining that he serves Seo and Yun not out of any imposed restriction, but out of a profound sense of fate and loyalty, an innate calling to protect and assist his master since birth. Gubaik finds this unusual, especially for a member of the Earth Tribe, and is even more impressed when she learns Hong Fan dismantled the cave's barrier on his own by observing its flow. Convinced of Hong Fan's genius, Gubaik spends the next 2 months recovering her power with the resources left by Seo Yunhyun. While the wider world moves, Ma Wan prepares a pavilion, and Yu Hua investigates Seo Hueol and the Earth Tribe's affairs. At last, Seo Unhyun returns, not entirely satisfied with his ventures in human race territory, but with some gains. As he greets Gubaik, he introduces a new companion, a small figure with wings, heralding a new phase in their story. After introducing Yu Hui and Gubaik to his strange companion, a puppet created by the Mad Lord and powered by a fragment of his soul plans, are set in motion for dealing with Seo Hueol. The puppet, erratic and obsessed, raves about Seo Hueol, unnerving Gubaik, but fascinating Yu Hua, who recognizes the puppet's infamous creator. The protagonist reveals he has managed to secure the Mad Lord's cooperation by appealing to his twisted logic and suggesting that Seo Hueol is about to be married, setting the Mad Lord on a collision course with Seo Hueol in 103 days at Cloudheart Lake. As the trio begins plotting, the protagonist steps out into the night, relieved to have survived the Mad Lord's unpredictable madness. Memories of negotiating with the Mad Lord surface. The strange conversation, the acceptance to attend Seo Hueol's wedding, and the permission to borrow the Mad Lord's disciple in the meantime. The protagonist's escape with Kim Yan from the Mad Lord's fortress is recounted, along with the continued communication maintained through the puppet. Now in the Earth Tribe territory, the protagonist's focus shifts to Kim Yan, whom he rescued but finds deeply traumatized and unresponsive after years in the Mad Lord's clutches. She plays silently with puppets, her mind retreated inward, and barely reacts to his presence. The protagonist resolves to use the remaining 103 days to try and bring her back to herself, hoping to reach her heart through persistent effort. A giant centipede named Hong Fan appears, now at the core formation stage and far more intelligent than before. Hong Fan addresses the protagonist as master, explaining his advancement and loyalty. The protagonist, surprised by Hong Fan's genius and devotion, questions the reason for this loyalty, suspecting the influence of the serving command seal, but accepts it for now. Sitting together, the protagonist recounts his recent hardships, betrayal by Seo Hueol, the journey through the lower world, reunion with Gubaik, the meeting with a true immortal, and the price paid for glimpsing the true immortal's true form, his own body now slowly vaporizing into lightning. Each time the immortal's whisper echoes in his mind, more of him turns to lightning. But as the transformation reverses, profound understanding of lightning and its cultivation is imparted to him. With just 103 days left before the Mad Lord's arrival and his own life hanging in the balance, the protagonist gazes at the moon, determined to make the most of the time remaining, to awaken Kim Yan and perhaps find meaning in the enlightenment gained from lightning, even as his own body slips further away. With only 50 days remaining before the Mad Lord's arrival, plans are finalized among the group. Yu Hua intends to rescue Bayek Nyong and the White Goat Race, while Gu Bayek seeks a crucial meeting with Seo Hueol. The strategy revolves around isolating Seo Hueol by drawing him into the Serving Command Arc, knowing he will seek safety among the powerful Earth Tribe cultivators gathered there. The group's hope is to exploit the chaos of the Mad Lord's approach and force Seo Hueol into a vulnerable position. Yu Hua will infiltrate the Sea Dragon Palace, while the others use trickery and decoys, like the devilish Yuan Yu, to distract Seo Hueol's supporters and leave him alone. Once isolated, they plan to confront him together, with Gubaik given a chance to speak before Yu Hua unleashes her heavenly tribulation and a secret technique is revealed. Preparations continue. Miniature General Seal puppets are dispatched throughout the massive Serving Command Arc, scouting hidden spaces and establishing surveillance. Each day, effort is made to restore Kim Yon's consciousness with unique soul techniques, even as the protagonist's body deteriorates from repeated use of these arts. Hong Fang concocts a special poison that, while not lethal, is designed to amplify pain to unimaginable levels, another weapon to be used against Seal Huel. As the ceremony day nears, the miniatures uncover over 20,000 hidden spaces per floor in the Ark. The protagonist's physical form is rapidly vanishing, but outwardly remains functional thanks to clever use of the formless sword. On the eve of the planned operation, while checking the hidden spaces, one miniature discovers something shocking. A hidden room on the Ark's 7th floor, a place with personal significance. Rushing there in disguise, the protagonist realizes the room contains Oh Hye Seo, long sought and hidden away by Seo Fuel on the very first day in the True Dragon Alliance. Understanding now why she could never be found in the Sea Dragon Palace, the protagonist heads into the administrative district to confirm if Oh Hi Seo is still alive, just as the final confrontation draws near. Disguised as a member of the Black Dragon race, I enter the administrative building of the Earth Tribe, projecting an unmistakable air of hostility to deter attention. Navigating through the corridors marked for the 13 major races, I use the Black Dragon's true blood to pass a concealed barrier, entering a hidden space reserved for dragons. Descending into a vast, artificially lit meadow with a manor at its center, I sense only one presence inside. Approaching the manor, I'm greeted by Oh hi, Seo, who welcomes me warmly upon hearing I was sent by Seo Huel. Inside, I quickly realize the servants are Jiangxi corpse puppets, created from real human bodies, all under the watch of a seemingly kind, middle-aged woman. In private, I question Oh he Seo about her well-being, but she lies with every answer. Though she's not aware, I can sense it. When she asks me to check her progress with the Summoning Wind Sacred Blood Transformation Technique, she reveals a move not found in the original technique, then suddenly confronts me. She knows I'm not who I claim to be, suspecting my true identity. Before I can decide how to respond, she sees through my disguise and recognizes me as Seo a face she remembers from decades past. Surprised, I remove my mask and greet her openly. She explains with relief and candor how Seo Hueo keeps her under constant watch, his Jiangxi servants reporting her every move. She confides that she was once under his spell, believing him kind, but after awakening her ability and reaching the nascent soul stage, she saw through his brainwashing and manipulation. Despite her circumstances, Oh Hi Seo is cheerful and surprisingly at peace, revealing that her ability, if cultivated further, may shed light on why everyone was brought to this world and how they might return. She chooses to remain by Seo Huel's side, using him as a means to refine her power, since his many entanglements make him an ideal subject for her investigation. I ask if she's reading me, and she admits it's difficult. My pages are heavy and obscured by mist, hinting at the complications of regression. After a warm but brief reunion, I offer to take her away, but she politely declines, intent on her quest for understanding. As I leave, she uses the light of the lustrous glazed peacock to erase any memory of my visit from the mansion's Jiangxi, ensuring my secret remains safe. For the first time since arriving in this world, I feel genuinely relieved about a colleague's fate. Certain, Oh Hi, Seo is far less vulnerable than I feared. With a lighter heart, I prepare for the final grand performance of this life, sensing the distant presence of the mad Lord Zhou Yon as he enters the territory of the True Dragon Alliance. The bizarre, flying, wonderfully mysterious fortress, packed with endless gears and puppets, approaches the heavily guarded territory of the Earth Tribe True Dragon Alliance. As three powerful integration stage demon kings come out to confront it, the fortress unleashes an army of puppets, billions, including 28 integration stage puppets, overwhelming even these seasoned defenders. The Mad Lord, in a fit of madness and artistic obsession, is determined to immortalize Seo Haoli at his wedding by capturing and evolving him at his most beautiful moment. The fortress advances, leaving chaos in its wake as it heads directly for the True Dragon Alliance headquarters, the serving command, Ark. Meanwhile, word of the Mad Lord's invasion spreads rapidly. Inside the Alliance, Seo Yunhyun is preparing for the coming storm, but finds himself unsettled by a strange mental disharmony, possibly linked to Oh Hye Seo and a mysterious influence she carries. Using cursed techniques, he stabilizes his mind for the critical plan ahead. He checks on Kim Yon, ensuring her condition is improving, and then prepares to intercept Seo Huel. Within the Survey Command arc, Seo Huel is surrounded by many loyal demon beasts. He reassures them, but when a disturbance traces of blood yin devilish arts arises, he sends his followers away under the pretense of fetching something, leaving himself alone. As soon as they depart, deadly curse spells activate, binding him in place. Seo Huel greets Seo Yun-hyun with a calm smile, even as the curses take hold. Seo Yun-hyun, using the true blood he received from Seo Huel, launches a devastating curse designed to inflict excruciating pain. Both men are racked with agony, but Seo Huel's serene, benevolent smile never wavers, even as he bleeds from his orifices and shakes under the assault. The two begin a deadly contest of will and power, with curse energy crackling between them. Despite the overwhelming pain, Seo Huel tries to dispel the curse, and the two enter a fierce magical standoff. Seo In-hyun's curse is strong, bolstered by deep connections and conditions, but Seo Huel's integration stage cultivation gives him a fighting chance. As the struggle intensifies, Seo Huel reveals his own trump card, a blood yin devilish art that sacrifices the lives of his demon beast followers, whom he had sent away for this very purpose. Their deaths fuel a massive blood sacrificed to break the curse. Realizing he cannot allow this, Seo Un-hyun acts. He uses a puppet communicator to contact the Mad Lord, providing him with Seo Huel's exact location inside the ark. At the same time, the Mad Lord's fortress, engaged in a fierce battle with the Alliance's demon kings, begins a spatial teleportation, aiming directly for the Serving Command Ark's 4th floor, where Seo H. Huel is. The Demon Kings, too late to stop it, watch in horror as the fortress vanishes from their battlefield, teleporting straight into the heart of their stronghold, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation. As the Serving Command Arc trembles under the looming threat of the Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress, Seo Huel faces an almost impossible siege. The Mad Lord's arrival seems inevitable, his fortress tearing through the spatial resistance that should have kept even such a force at bay. Yet Seo Huel, battered and almost broken from pain and curses, reveals there are still limits to what even immortal treasures can resist. Despite his claims, the fortress presses forward, its puppets infiltrating the ark and trapping Seo Huel with a swarm of bee puppets, while the immense energy from a blood sacrifice begins to fade. Behind the scenes, the integration stage, demon kings of the Earth Tribe try to drag the fortress back, but its thrusters ignite, showing its true might. Unfazed, Seo Huel produces a green crystal necklace, revealing his understanding of desire and how controlling it can manipulate even the greatest of powers. With a flicker of green light, he uses Baek Nyong's soul, extracted and bound within the necklace, to unleash a repelling force that, combined with the efforts of the Earth Tribe, pushes the Mad Lord's fortress back into the void. In the aftermath, as the fortress vanishes, Gyubek emerges, wielding the authority to open passages within the ark. Yuhua is summoned, her music drawing Seo Huel's fragmented consciousness even deeper into vulnerability. Seizing the chance, Gyubek activates her ultimate technique, a chain of fate meant to bind her heart and life to Seo Huel's, ensuring their mutual end and fulfilling an oath of vengeance and shared destruction. But before the fatal technique can take effect, betrayal erupts. A crimson hand, powered by the blood sacrifice, pierces Gyubek from behind. Yuan Yu, now revealed to be a vessel for Oh Haye Seo, has absorbed all the sacrificial power. The truth unravels. Seo Yun-hyun's memories have been tampered with by the lustrous glaze Peacock's light, all orchestrated by Oh Haye Seo. The supposed partnership and camaraderie with Seo Huel were little more than a farce. The protagonist was being monitored through the blood body all along, his every move anticipated and manipulated. Seo Huel, having reassembled his consciousness, greets Oh Hui Seo, now in Yuan Yu's body, with familiarity, exposing that even the method for using the blood body was planted by his own hand from the beginning. Realization dawns that every gesture, every pat on the shoulder was a means for Seo Huel to search for the truth behind the blood body's wearer, revealing the protagonist as the unwitting clown in a tragic performance. With nothing left but despair and bitter laughter, the protagonist prepares for the end, accepting the futility of all his schemes and the depth of Seo Huel's machinations, and utters the words to return everything to its origin as the curtain falls on his part of the performance. At the moment when the words "return to thee" are spoken, Seo Huel moves with lightning speed, pinning his foe and sealing their powers with a mysterious axis, isolating them from the world and forcing silence. Despite this, the protagonist observes Seo Haewol's heart essence, noticing it is more turbulent than ever before, a rare disturbance. Seo Haewol, though maintaining a smiling mask, is forced to explain the necessity of visiting the Blood Yin realm to replenish the axis used in the sealing, revealing an aversion to this realm and hinting at deeper connections and enmities across the realms. When pressed about alternatives, he explains that the other realms are either too distant or inaccessible, and the Netherghost realm is perilous, teeming with dangerous cultivators seeking ascension. Seo Haewol, fascinated and frustrated by the protagonist's inscrutable motives and possible origins, speculates that the protagonist may be a remnant of a noble existence from the era of Yang Sujin, one of the few entities capable of invoking the power that recently shook the battlefield. Their exchange is tense, with each side probing for secrets, and Seo Haewol's playful demeanor is revealed to be a facade for deeper calculation and perhaps pain. Suddenly, Gubek, mortally wounded, rises by forcibly circulating her chi, defying death to confront Seo Haewol about whether his relationship with Gurion was ever more than a joke. Seo Haewol coldly rebuffs her, dismissing her as an empty remnant, not the true Gurion. Gubek, grief-stricken but determined, attacks with her chains only to be easily overpowered. Seo Haewol, impatient, wounds her further and prepares to use her as a blood sacrifice to strengthen the seal. Despite being immobilized, the protagonist musters enough will to reach out and take Gubek's hand, denying that their shared experiences were ever a joke. In this moment, a unique bond forms. A pink thread extends from their hands, emitting a floral fragrance that gathers into the form of Kim Yeon. At the same time, in a distant burrow, Kim Yeon, unconscious for days, dreams of a past moment of happiness and receives the lingering heart of Gurion's love through her connection to Seo Eun-hyun. This resonance awakens Kim Yeon's true abilities through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. Back in the present, Kim Yeon's pink silhouette overlays their joined hands, and a golden light bursts from Gubek's chest. Seo Haewol and Ohae Seo are both startled, especially as the golden light manifests as the fateful vast cold oath, a binding oath that draws Seo Haewol back no matter how he tries to escape. Gubek, now revived by Kim Yeon's intervention, activates golden chains that capture Seo Haewol, whose composure finally cracked. The arrival of the vast cold oath sends shockwaves across the realm, alarming even the Black Dragon King and resonating with the Mad Lord, who senses his disciple Kim Yeon's breakthrough. Gubek, heart filled with golden light but knowing her death is imminent, explains that the vast cold oath is a fated technique, one that cannot be undone by force or revival, only by a reciprocation of true sincerity. She tells Seo Haewol that to break the oath imposed by Gu Ryan's love, he must return that sincerity with a genuine kiss, echoing the fairy tale motif of love-breaking curses. For the first time, Seo Haewol's infamous smile vanishes, signaling the end of his long manipulative performance. The stage is set for a reckoning of hearts, fates, and long-buried feelings, as miracles and the bonds of this lifetime overturn the unyielding schemes of the past. Seo Haewol faces Gubek and, in response to her request to see his sincerity, reveals a hidden and terrifying aspect of himself. He creates a formidable barrier using his four axes, forming a canopy that echoes the protective pagodas of Yuan Li, but tainted by a blood-red, cursed gaze that exudes a repulsive and sinister energy. Within this barrier, Seo Haewol's true emotions are laid bare, and their darkness deeply shocks Gubek. Meanwhile, the protagonist struggles to resist the two opposing forces, threatening to consume him, the power of the heavenly lightning banner, which seeks to turn him into lightning and return him to its owner, and the Black Dragon's true blood, a corrupting force that wishes to devour his very existence. He realizes that the Black Dragon's power is not a blessing, but a disaster that stains his very history, and that avoiding its corruption is more important than simply surviving as lightning. Balancing precariously between these forces, the protagonist forges all 3,000 colorless glass swords into a single treasure sword, pouring his spiritual strength into it and repeatedly attacking Seo Haewol's impenetrable canopy. Yu Hua joins in, calling down heavenly thunder to aid in the assault, but even together they can only shake, not break, the barrier. At this critical moment, the Mad Lord arrives in his fortress, surprisingly clear-minded, and unleashes the combined might of nearly 30 integration stage puppets. Their overwhelming attack finally tears open a hole in Seo Haewol's canopy, granting access for the protagonist and Yu Hua to enter. Inside, they find themselves in a vast, oppressive domain, a reflection of Seo Whale's heart essence, cold, filthy, and maddening. Gyubaik stands alone, her golden light dimmed by the horrors she has witnessed. Seo Whale appears, admitting he simply gave Gyubaik what she asked for, a direct experience of his sincerity which proved far more disturbing than she imagined. Gyubaik, traumatized, prepares to undo the vast cold oath that binds Seo Whale, but at the protagonist's urging, she hesitates, torn between her horror and her desire for revenge. The protagonist reassures her, offering to carry her feelings and vengeance in her stead. Gyubaik entrusts her will to him, releases the vast cold oath, and dies, her life force having been extended only by forcibly circulating her chi. The protagonist, now bearing Gyubaik's heart, finds his own body on the verge of destruction, threatened by both the Black Dragon and the lightning transformation, yet resolves to strike at Seo Whale with his last strength. As he prepares, he reflects on the nature of lightning and the fleeting nature of existence, realizing that in his current state, he is approaching an advanced transformation, akin to heavenly tribulation. He merges his sword technique with the colorless lightning, attaining a new level of understanding and power. With the final challenge, he confronts Seo Whale, ready to test how many tribulations Seo Whale can withstand, even as the risk of attracting the attention of true immortals looms over them both.